It is an absolutely beautiful summer day, and I've had some projects in my mind that I really want to tackle today. So I'm going to take you with me and do them. So my hope is that I'll be able to share some patriotic decor recipes, inspiration with you today that you can take away and go do yourself. Please check the description. I will make blog posts for the ideas that I'm sharing where relevant. But I want to share a recipe, well, I want to experiment with the recipe and get it mastered so I can share it on the blog. And then I want to do a fun little tablescape, something really simple, and a floral arrangement that's patriotic. So those are the things in my head, as well as like sprucing up around the house with some other patriotic decor. So last year, I realized on the 4th of July that I hadn't put any patriotic decor out. We were actually having family and friends over for a cookout and fireworks, and I ran down to the grocery store real quick to just see if they had some flags. But anyway, I'm not gonna do that this year. I wanna get a head start. And I love patriotic decor so much that I really just wanna leave it out all summer long. Maybe you already do that, but that's my goal this year, is to get a head start and just to leave it out throughout the summer. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and let's get started. I didn't want to spend any money on this floral arrangement, so I actually just got out my trusty clippers and went around my property to see what I had. I believe this is a Russian olive tree, which is very pokey, but I love the sage green leaves of the Russian olives, so I braved it. Anyway, there's lots of this other plant with these cute white delicate blooms, and I went and picked those around. It's a ground cover that apparently blooms. I was going to look it up and figure out the name before I got on here, but I didn't. So if you know what this bush is and ground cover, let me know. And then I had a lot of these other bushes that have these sweet white clusters on them. I believe there's some type of berry that grows later that is not edible. But anyway, I gathered what I thought was really pretty and just stuck with greens and tried to find some whites as well around my property. I feel like greens and whites are such a good way to just start a floral arrangement and make such a great base for just about anything. Now, it would be fun to get some like blues and reds if you had any kind of flowers like that around your home, but most of us might not. And so just focus on the greens or the whites and then use the flags as the pop of patriotic. So it just makes something really doable and easy, but it turns out really pretty. And I just want to let you know that I have links to a whole bunch of these sources that you're going to see in this video in the description. I rounded up some of my favorite products that you might want to buy before your patriotic celebrations, just to have on hand, like the flags I've gotten and tablecloths and everything. So definitely check out the description if you want some sources to get you going. Okay, my next idea is not a novel one, but it just is so easy and fun. This is 4th of July or patriotic decorating in seconds. But if you have some flags, just go and put them inside of planters or anywhere that you can find around your house. It just makes a really cute pop of color. And even if you don't have like very many planters around the house, just put them anywhere random, and it just makes a cute welcome for your guests, or just really fun to go and walk around your property and see. And another idea is if you don't have flags, but you can find these cute little pinwheels for really inexpensive online. Those are really fun to put down a pathway, and it's a fun idea that maybe if you have kids coming over for any sort of celebration, you could have them bring one of these pinwheels home or a flag home. It just makes a really festive touch that is also very fun for kids. Now, another fun idea is to add a flag to a wreath. So I picked up this cute wreath at a vintage market, and I just love the wispy nature of it and that it's just green and white. It works great for, the spring and summer months. So I just got a flag and inserted it in the middle of it and made it kind of wavy in the center. And I just love that that welcomes us into the home. And Again, the greens and the whites with the flag are just perfect for this time of year. And luckily, I remembered that last year I had also purchased a cute patriotic pillow. And so I went and dug that out and was glad I could find it after our big move. And then I grabbed all the blue and white blankets that I had. Surprisingly, I've collected quite a few, and just played around to see which one felt right out here on the porch. Let me know if you have a favorite, but I ended up using my striped one. It just felt, stars and stripes. It just felt right. And I love anything that's kind of like grain sack striped. Here's a fun idea for you. If you don't have a flagpole, you could also put a flag on a clothesline. This is a clothesline we just built, and I'm going to share the DIY instructions with you guys soon, but I thought it would just be fun to hang our flag on a clothesline. I was just playing around, and I think this would be a really fun backdrop if you do have a gathering. When we bring people over, to hang that up really quick. It's super cute and festive. Now, I know a lot of my ideas are centered on the outside of the home right now, but I did have a little quick idea that I wanted to do on the inside. So I found this cute art, this vintage art. I believe it's a depiction of Betsy Ross making the first American flag. I will have this being sent out in my weekly newsletter. I love to send a free vintage art download that I find. So make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter. I will leave a link for that in the description below. It's not super professional, but it is a quick job to just frame this and set it around the home near a crock full of flags. That's something that you can do inside. Okay, now we're gonna move to table prep. And you'll see me here filling up some ice cube trays with water. And I'm going to throw a little blueberry in there. And these ice cube trays are shaped in stars. And these have come in handy a lot. I love them so much. But my thought here is to just make some decorative ice to go inside the cups for a tablescape. All right, now I'm going to share with you my favorite part, and that was making this table setting. So I grabbed a tablecloth that is red and white. I actually found this one thrifting, but I did round up a bunch of them that are like it in my Moonsift board. So check the description for that, for all the sources that I've gathered for you. But here I took advantage of that floral centerpiece that we made, foraging around the property. And then I found some beautiful linen napkins that are blue and white striped, kind of the grain sack look. And so this time I used the blue one since the tablecloth is red and white. And I don't have napkin rings, so I just simply used some twine and tied a pretty bow and then put in this darling star straw, which I think is just so cute. Now, I do have a collection of red and blue utensils, and I pulled them out. I just have grabbed them from the thrift store when I've seen them. I love how they just feel like summer to me, so we pull those out in the summer months. And then I just love the look of a mason jar for the drinks. So keep it really simple, but this tablescape just took me minutes, and it's so adorable and can be thrown together. This is something I was just playing around with to give you guys ideas, but I can't wait to bring it out again when we have some guests over for the summer holidays. But I also had some banners that I purchased last year and hung them around. That's a really fun idea to just give you a backdrop to build from. I love this little area in our home. It's this little step down fire pit area where we can roast s'mores. There's even a ground pit where we could do like tinfoil dinners or Dutch oven. Anyway, it was a lot of fun to just make it feel more welcoming and beautiful. Okay, new day. Clearly I was more ambitious in my head yesterday than reality proved. So I didn't get to the recipe that I wanted to share with you. So I'm going to do that today. My kids are way excited because I'm going to make like a 3-layered red, white, and blue yogurt popsicle. We love these yogurt popsicles, and I've never done it this way. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. But basically I want to teach you the base of the recipe and then show you how creative you can get from there. And like I said, I'm kind of experimenting in the kitchen today. However, if it doesn't work out, I will refine the measurements and quantities and everything for the blog post so that you can make sure that you get the tried and true recipe. But let's give this a shot. So this is my homemade yogurt. I actually just made it fresh this morning after it sat for all last night. So, but you can use any yogurt. I just suggest you get plain yogurt, unless of course you want to start with a flavored, but it's nice to start with plain so that you can flavor and color things as you want to. Now, just a plain yogurt consistency is usually too thick for popsicles. So the base recipe is always like 2 cups of yogurt, and then you add either like a half to 1 cup of the berries or a juice. I love orange creamsicles. You add a cup of orange juice with lots of vanilla, and it has that orange creamsicle taste that's so yummy. But for this one, I'm just gonna add some coconut cream or milk to kind of water this down, and I think that'll give it a nice flavor. To sweeten it, I'm just going to use pure maple syrup so that the sweetener is a little bit of a healthier option. To get the red, for the red base, I'm just using fresh strawberries. And to get the blue, I'm going to use frozen blueberries. You can use fresh, I just only have frozen. But I have my suspicions that this will just make it purple. So I just happen to have some spirulina powder, which makes it really vibrant blue, I think. So don't worry, you don't have to have this. In fact, I would go minimal with it so you don't get the seaweed taste that it sometimes has. But I just think it'll give it a little bit more color, more of a blue color rather than purple. And for the molds, I of course have popsicle sticks, and I have this silicone mold. I tend to like this one because they're easier to come out of, but I have a plastic one as well if this ends up making too much that I can pull out. But I think if I remember right, this recipe will fill one of these popsicle molds. But I'll make sure and figure that out for the blog post so that you get accurate measurements. So I find that adding this to a blender just makes it a more creamy consistency and gets rid of any possible chunks. So I add the 2 cups of the yogurt, and then I love this coconut cream or milk from Azure Standard. It's such a good product. But I added a half a cup of that. Again, we just need the yogurt mixture a little more running. And so then I added a 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup. You could add any natural sweetener or sweetener that you want, but I find the pure maple syrup is delicious. I was very liberal with the vanilla extract because I love that hint in the background. So once that's blended up, I ended up putting it in another container so that I could use the blender to blend the strawberries with the yogurt mixture. So we put about a cup of the yogurt mixture back into the blender and a couple handfuls of strawberries. And again, I'll have some more exact measurements for you on my blog to help you with this. Then I blended it up and then put it in another little vessel that was a lot easier to pour. So then you'll pour about 1/3 up on the popsicle molds. And really don't fuss about any exact measurements here, but it will all work out. So don't forget to put your popsicle sticks in at this point because you want it to go through all the way. So get those frozen inside of them, even just that first layer. And I think it takes a good hour to get it really frozen and solid. So make sure you give yourself that much time. So once they are frozen, then you can add the middle layer, which I just decided to do the straight yogurt and coconut. It's really, really good. Actually, this layer is probably our favorite out of the 3 anyway. But add that to the molds on top of the first layer. Again, another 1/3 up the mold, and then you'll get that frozen again. And then it's time to add the last layer. For me, I did the blueberries and the little bit of spirulina powder. However, I realized the spirulina powder I bought is more of a turquoise color. They have others that are a brighter blue. So I would go for that, but I decided to add it anyway. So this last layer, once it's blended up, you can finish filling up the molds and get them all the way frozen again. Well, my friend, we managed to make pink, white, and purple popsicles. They were supposed to be red, white, and blue, but they're super cute. I haven't given them to my kids yet, but I have a feeling they're going to be delicious. They're really cute. They're actually, I would call these more like princess popsicles instead of patriotic popsicles. So yeah, still a great idea, and I'm still going to share the recipe. But it dawned on me, most of the red, white, and blue popsicles that I saw online are just like pureed berries straight, which is why the colors were so vibrant in the red and blue. So maybe find one of those recipes if you really want a red, white, and blue. But because it's a yogurt pop, and so they were being mixed with a lot of white, obviously we're getting pink and purple, which I should have thought of. But aren't they cute? My husband had the idea to actually do like a Neapolitan popsicle, and you could put chocolate instead of blueberries on this last layer, which would be really, really yummy too. So still really fun, worth the effort because they're so adorable. And we're gonna taste test these now. But I have the recipe for you online. It just may not be perfect for your patriotic celebrations, but they'll definitely cool you down. Friends, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it just got you excited for the patriotic celebrations ahead. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back very soon to share more inspiration for the keeper of the home.